Kimraha Huladunia, Feuchamaich Olde Scot the Celtic podcast. On today's show, we'll introduce you to adjectives in Feuchamaich Beagan Gaidhlig, start a three-part series entitled Celts and the Romans, the dramatic link of two great cultures in our Celtic history segment, and we will talk about modern-day Celts in everyday Celtic ways. And today we will hear music from Capercaillie, the Merry Ploughboys, the Chieftains, and some traditional Scottish bagpipe music. And as always, a wee bit of Irish trivia to test your knowledge to start us off. What 1952 film about an Irish-American boxer who goes to Ireland to discover his roots, falls in love, and defeats the town bully? What is the name of the film? All right, enjoy. All right, that was Capercaillie from the Crosswinds album, and the lead singer there, Karen Matheson, she is awesome. I love her in that movie Rob Roy. And now, Han Tom and Feuchamaich Beagan Gaidhlig. It's time for Let's Try a Little Gaidhlig. Today we'll introduce you to adjectives, and as always, I will display on the screen what I am discussing. Tasha Kishin, let's begin. All right, you saw in earlier lessons that adjectives can be used predicately. Now, a predicate adjective is a subject complement, a word or group of words that follows a linking verb or a verb phrase. Here's an example in the sentence. The wall is purple. Now, the subject is the wall, the predicate adjective is purple, and the linking verb is. In Gaelic, this would be ha balla purpi. The subject is balla, the predicate adjective is purpi, and the verb is ha. I hope that helps you understand a little better. I know Gaelic can get overly grammatical sometimes when all you want to do is know how to speak it. However, grammar is there for a reason. It will help you understand if you just take the time to learn it. Now, the adjective never changes in this situation. Here's a couple examples, and like I said, I will display all this on the screen for you. Ha and Balachbek, the boy is small, which is masculine, and Ha Halakbek, the girl is small, which is feminine. Then, of course, you have the plurals. Ha Nabalak, the boys are small, and Ha Nakhalakenbek, the girls are small. However, an adjective must agree in both case and gender with the noun it directly describes. This is called the attribute position. For nominative or basic forms of nouns, these are as follows. Gili Moore, a big lad, which is a male, and Gili Moore, the big lad. Kalak Vor, a big, and Halak Vor, the big girl. Now, the plural, whenever you do a plural of this, it adds the A or an E to the end, to the adjective. So the masculine plural of these would be Gilin Mora, big lads, or Nagilin Mora, the big lads. And then, of course, the female, or the feminine, would be Kalakin Mora, big girls, or Nakhalakin Mora, the big girls. Do you see what I'm saying? All adjectives with initial consonant quality can be united except those beginning with the L, N, R, S, G, S, M, S, P, or S, T. For example, Kalak Vor, Kalak Vek, but Kalak Ski. The ending follows this Gallic spelling rule. If the syllable ends in a narrow vowel, I or E, then the following syllable must begin with a narrow vowel. And if the syllable ends in a broad vowel, A or U, then the following syllable must begin with a broad vowel. Narrow to narrow, broad to broad. That's just a simple way of looking at it. For example, more, mora, glick, glika. The adjectives show this or these, and shin, that or those, they never change in position now. So, here's just some examples of that particular instant of the show and the shin. Angili show, this lad, Angili shin, that lad. Angili more show, this lad, Angili more shin, that lad, that big lad. Nagilian show, these lads, Nagilian shin, those lads. Nagilian mora shin, Nagilian mora show, these big lads, Nagilian mora shin, those big lads. Now the female, or the feminine, a halak show, this girl, a halak shin, that girl. A halak vek show, this small girl, a halak vek shin, that small girl. Nakhalakan show, these girls, Nakhalakan shin, those girls. Nakhalakan beka show, these small girls, Nakhalakan beka shin, those small girls. Alright. As nouns have either a masculine or a feminine gender in Gaelic, so when you want to describe something using its pronoun, you must refer to it by either the masculine or the feminine. The pronouns for those are or e. Either it's an e or an I. E for masculine, I for feminine. But the pronunciation of those are and e, respectively. Now, those nouns, respectively, both genders can mean it also. So they can mean him or it, or it can be she and it. An example would be Ha in Shomer Fur, the room is cold, or ha ifur, it is cold. And ha iklas fur, the church is cold, or ha iflor, it is cold. All right, we're going to move on and give you some new vocabulary, some adjectives. Going to go with Jarek, red, Fada, long, Gorm, blue, Shin, that, Ur, new, Inshiak, interesting, Dona, bad, Gorlich, short, Ma, good, Show, for this, and Chin, ill or sick. And of course, those pronouns we just were talking about, E or A, or both it. I'm going to give you some exercises here to do from Gaelic to English and English to Gaelic. The first one's going from Gaelic to English. Chanio and Skolm 4, Choglan. Ha and number 2, Ha and Iklis Veklan. Number 3, and Ro and Skian Ugur. Number 4, Va and Pen Gordam Chirdam. 5, Ha and Leecher Show Inchinuk. 6, Va and Tai Shin Falaf. 7, Ha and Sna Gur Salak. 8, Ha and Gila Dona Shin Leshk. Number 9, and Ro and Shomer Bek Bla. And number 10, Ka Ro Halak Vek Shin. Alright, and that's it today for Feuchamaich Beagan Gaidhlig. I'm hoping you're getting some out of this Gaelic, learning a little bit, learning to converse a little bit, say some things. And if you have any questions or comments, just feel free to ask. Now, we're going to head off to some more music, so enjoy. Alright, that was Scotland from the Music of Scotland album, the St. Clair Pipes and Drums. Now we will delve into the rich history of our Celtic past in our segment, The Celtic History Break. Today's topic is a 3-part series entitled Celts and Romans, the dramatic link between two great cultures. Part 1 is Who Were the Romans, which we will do today. Part 2 is The Mysterious Etruscans, and Part 3 is The Celts Sack Rome. Alright, let's get to it. Now, the history of the early Celts was dramatically linked with the Romans for centuries. The first notable event between these two peoples was nothing less than the sacking of Rome by the Celts in 390 BC. Thus began a relationship that would endure until the fall of Rome 800 years later. Legendary beginning of Rome. In Roman legend, twin brothers Romulus and Remus, sons of the god Mars, and a mortal princess named Rhea Silvia, were abandoned as infants by being set adrift in a basket on the river Tiber. Floating safely to the bank, they were suckled and cared for by a she-wolf. Eventually they were found and raised by a shepherd and his wife. Romulus was chosen by Omen over his brother to be the one who actually founded Rome in 753 BC. He also became its first king. The site chosen for Rome was at the place where the brothers, as babies, had been rescued on the bank of the river. Remus became an enemy of his brother and was killed for mocking the city's fortifications. "So perish whoever else shall leap over my walls," Romulus boasted. The distinguished Roman historian Livy, around the time 59 BC to 17 AD, wrote that Romulus bolstered the meager population of Rome by making it a sanctuary for fugitives from the surrounding countryside. According to Livy, a miscellaneous rabble eager for new conditions, he obtained wives for them by leading the rape of the Sabine women, Sabines being a neighboring people whose women the Romans ravaged. After a long reign, Romulus disappeared forever in a thunderstorm and was subsequently worshipped by Romans as the god Quirinus. Until the advent of Christianity centuries later, all Romans believed that Rome's founders, Romulus and Remus, were descended from a celestial father, none other than Mars. Under future kings, this early Roman monarchy extended its territory in all directions by means of constant warfare, until its rule was taken over by its northern neighbors, the Etruscans. Now that might be the legend, but the truth is quite different. The real beginning of Rome. The foundations of Roman culture were established long before the building of Rome itself. From the 8th century BC, numerous Greek colonies were already established throughout Italy and Sicily, some not far from where Rome would one day stand. Some continued to exist in Italy after Rome was established. The region of Italy and Sicily was then called Magna Graecia, or Great Greece, and to this day it contains the remains of more Doric temples than there are in Greece itself. There can be little doubt that the Greek presence had an effect on the developing culture of the Latins, living them on the south side of the river Tiber in an area called Latium. Yet these pastoral folk, who would one day build Rome, were probably already speaking an early form of Latin and not Greek. It was their then more powerful neighbors to the north, the Etruscans, who were the most important outside influence involved in the spectacular rise of the Latin farmers to be the world's greatest power. Wow. All right. Now, next time we'll get to the mysterious Etruscans and what made these people so important to the development of Rome and to the Celts. And now, on to some more music. Enjoy.
I do not grudge them, Lord. I do not grudge my 2 strong sons that I have seen go out to break their strength and die. They and a few in bloody protest for a glorious thing. They shall be spoken of among their people, and generations shall remember them and call them blessed. But I will speak their names to my own heart in the long nights, the little names that were familiar once around my dead heart. Lord, thou art hard on mothers. We suffer in their coming and their going. And though I grudge them not, I weary of the long sorrow. And yet I have my joy. My sons were faithful, and they fought. The night was dark, and the fight was ended. The moon shone down O'Connell Street. I stood alone where brave men perished. Those men are gone, their gods to meet. My only son was shot in Dublin, fighting for his country bold. He fought for Ireland, and Ireland only. The harp, the shamrock, green, white and gold. The first I met was a grey-haired father, searching for his only son. I said, old man, there's no use searching, for up to heaven your son has gone. The old man cried out broken-hearted, kneeling low, I heard him say, I knew my son was too kind-hearted. I knew my son would never yield. The last I met was a dying rebel, bending low, I heard him say, God bless my home in dear Cork City. God bless the cause for which I died. My only son was shot in Dublin, fighting for his country bold. He fought for Ireland, and Ireland only. The harp, the shamrock, green, white and gold.
All right, that was The Dying Rebel by the Merry Plowboys from the Unharnessed album. That's that band I like so well from Dublin, Ireland. Now it's time for Everyday Celtic Ways, a look into how our Celtic heritage is still very much a part of our everyday lives. Today on Everyday Celtic Ways, we will talk about the modern day Celt and the question of what is the Celtic nations. There are generally 6 Celtic peoples recognized, or nations recognized in the world today. They divide into 2 groups, the Brythonic or the British Celts and the Gaidhlig or Gaelic Celts. The Brythonic Celts are the Welsh, Cornish, and Bretons. The Gaels are the Irish, Scots, and Manx, inhabitants of the Isle of Man, that is. Some people want to recognize a 7th Celtic nation in the region of Galicia in Spain, even though their Celtic language died out over 1,000 years ago. The Celtic links there are far less prevalent than in other areas that have embraced their Celtic heritage. So I am often asked how the 6 Celtic nations are distinctly identified or recognized. They are officially recognized Celtic nations are Ireland, the Isle of Man, Scotland, Wales, Cornwall, and Brittany. And yes, they are officially recognized by the Celtic League and the International Celtic Congress, which I had no idea that those two organizations existed, but that's kind of cool that they do. The 6 recognized nations have a Celtic language that is still used and has been spoken into modern times. However, parts of the northwest of Spain, in particular Galicia and Asturias, have sometimes been seen as Celtic due to their unique culture when compared to other areas of that region. However, unlike the 6 nations, no Celtic language has been spoken in the modern era. If you would like to read more on this particular aspect of the Galatia or the Etruscans Celtic question, I'll post a link up on the video part of this. Now, modern Celtic peoples have evolved symbols to express their love of all things Celtic. And in North America, people of Celtic descent often wear these symbols to show which group they are from. For instance, the commonest Irish symbol is the 3-leaf shamrock or the Celtic knots, and even the harp is used as well. The Scottish symbol is a thistle, along with the wearing of the tartans, the kilts. The Welsh flag is a red dragon on a green and white black background. The Welsh consider their red dragon as their most Welshiest symbol. Their words, not mine. And I got to admit, they do have a badass flag. Culturally, people have created Celtic music in all the genres, from folk to hard rock, and continue the ancient Scottish Highland games amidst festivals and clan tents, haggis on a stick, and stuffed plush toys resembling Finn McCool. In the hustle and bustle of the modern day world, this sort of parody of being Celtic is what helps some stay connected with the culture they love. Others actively pursue learning the Celtic languages, either Irish Gaelic, Scottish Gaelic, or Manx, and others. In recent years, there has also been a growth in learning and speaking the Celtic languages in other places, other than the Celtic nations, with active associations in places like Australia, New Zealand, USA, and Canada. The associations provides a means for those of Celtic heritage to preserve and celebrate their linguistic and cultural legacy. In addition, there has been a revival of Scots Gaelic in Canada's Cape Breton. Once home in the 1800s to over 100,000 Gaelic-speaking Scottish immigrants, with an estimated only about 2,000 Gaelic speakers in 2018. But I hear that's growing day by day. Now, this pan-Celtic movement seeks to promote greater appreciation of the shared heritage of all the Celtic nations, which includes organizations like the ones I had mentioned earlier, the International Celtic Congress and the Celtic League. Now, the International Celtic Congress is a non-political cultural organization that promotes the Celtic language in the 6 nations of the 6 Celtic nations of Ireland, Scotland, Brittany, the Isle of Man, Cornwall, and the Isle of Man. For more information on the Congress annual meeting, visit, and I'll post the link. Visit the website. I'll post the link up there on the video feed. A separate organization with more of a political outlook is the Celtic League. It promotes the benefits of a pan-Celtic cooperation between the 6 Celtic nations. For more information on that, I'll post a link of that as well. Now, but one of the most interesting ways of staying connected to our Celtic heritage is to become a laird, a Scottish landowner. With that comes the title of Lord or Lady, and that is just one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And it's cool amongst your Celtic brethren to have them call you Lord or Lady. Now, you may think this is out of your price range, yet it isn't. I did it for my granddaughter, and she is now Lady Vera May Page of Glencoe, and she's only 15 months old. but I'm sure she will have fun with her friends later in life with her title. I got hers through a thing called Highland Titles, and it was only like $40. So you see, it's quite reasonable, and it's cool. It's one of those kind of parody things of our Celtic culture, but it helps her, or it will help her, stay rooted to her Celtic traditions, to her Celtic culture. If you don't know if you are Celtic, or just don't fret. These days, you can do a DNA test and know for sure. But if it's important to you, you may not want to know. The Celts are the most hospitable people you could hope to find anywhere. Are you of Celtic blood? Yes? No? Well, it doesn't really matter. Welcome. More welcomes than 100,000 welcomes, or as the Irish say, Ciat Mila Falcha. Have something to eat and drink, talk all night. Perhaps there will be some music, some singing and dancing, whatever. Have a good time, and please enjoy being a Celt. And that's it for Everyday Celtic Ways. Now, gonna wrap up the show here today, but can't leave you without giving the answer to the trivia question. And the 1952 movie starred John Wayne. It's called The Quiet Man, and it's a great movie. And Maureen O'Hara, she's beautiful. Well, that's it for today's show. I hope you liked it. I'm trying to keep it interesting, informative, and fun. For me, anytime you can infuse something Celtic into your day, it's a good day. Now, you've heard me talking about Irish and Scottish festivals before, but I've stumbled across a cool website, which of course I will post, and a video feed. But it keeps a list of current and future festivals. So if you're interested, check it out and find a festival near you. You won't regret it. I'll post the link above, like I said. And for those of you local to St. Louis, our festival won't take place this year. And it would have been in September anyway. But it will be here for 2020. And it's well worth the wait, because it's a little late this year for other festivals too. And the ones that are around most festivals take place anywhere between March and September. Now, you will find one occasionally in November, like down in Texas and down south where it's still warm. But just check out the festivals near you and make plans for next year. And get out there and get your Celtic on. March and leave in Drozdha. Bye for now. I will leave you with this song, O'Sullivan's March by the Chieftains, from the Essential Chieftains album. Enjoy.